Last question. Mechanical and manual guidance. They were nice to you on these ones, weren't they? So mechanical, we talked about that thing in the sports hall, manual being a human. So mechanical and manual guidance can be used when practicing techniques in sport. Assess, so you're looking at advantages and disadvantages of using mechanical manual guidance when teaching a beginner to swim. How many of you missed the word swim? I do not know. And this is what frustrates me about we don't highlight in questions. Didn't even refer to the examples in swim. We just spoke about general randomised. Swim is an easy one. Floats, humans in the pool. You know, when you're a little kid and somebody jumps in the pool and helps you float, so you don't drown and pick you up from the bottom of the pool because you can't stay afloat at the moment. That's the benefit. So mechanical guidance is where the coach uses an aid to perform, to move the performer in the correct position. So that's A1. For example, you could use a float or one of those little tubey things. So you give an example, you get an A2. Disadvantages could be, so I'm straight in there of advantage or disadvantage, that the performer becomes too reliant, and this works for manual and mechanical to be honest, but you don't want to repeat it because you've used it once now, on the float, and so are able to do the skill on their own. So it's like kids who wear armbands. They don't want to take them off. They're petrified and they're not developing the ability to float. They might be able to use some basic technique, but they cannot float. So they are struggle and they keep popping under the water. So that's a disadvantage. Manual guidance is when the performer is physically moved by the coach in the correct position. For example, the making the legs in the breaststroke. So I don't know if you've had a coach go behind you and try and push your legs in the right position or move your arm in the front core in the right position. An advantage, so we've gone straight into there. We've done a disadvantage earlier, so we've got at least an advantage. We've balanced our approach. Could be the swimmer learns the correct technique and so can develop quicker. So instead of you trying it out, getting it wrong, learning to doggy paddle and forgetting all the technique, if a coach can help you develop the technique correctly the first time round and you keep practicing that correct technique over and over again, you will develop at a much quicker rate. So we haven't quite got enough there. We've got 1A01, 1A01, 1A02, 1A02, 1A03, 1A03. I need a final paragraph that's got one more of each to get the 9 marks. That gets me 6 marks. I need to understand the second part of the question, which is assess the advantages and disadvantages, and we're talking about that beginner as well. So both supports learners to gain improvement, which is important. That's an A1 point. This supports the support of visual and verbal guidance would also help, because you can't just show a kid or make a kid feel it. You want to tell them what they're doing or do a little demo on the side, and they've kind of neglected that. Beginners need all 4 things to be successful. So to prevent them from getting over-reliance on the point of a person or an aid, it grows their confidence so they can swim on their own because they've been given the visual support. Yep, do that again, well done. Yep, head above water, nice work, keep looking up. It's that combination of all 4 things that progresses with beginner. It's not the focus just solely on one or the other. So you've assessed this question, said they are helpful, there's positives and negatives. Overall it'd be great, but you need to throw in some visual and verbal guidance too, which prevents them from being over reliant on the coach or the device, means they can be independent on their own. And that's the end of the paper.